Your patients are searching dentists near me and you're not showing up. And even worse, your competition is. You may do a better service at a fair price, but if you're not showing up, you're not even in the game. My name is Patrick Rice and I've helped hundreds of businesses, both national and local, rank on Google in their industries. Today, I'm not gonna just tell you some whiteboard, high abstract stuff. We're actually gonna go into Google, show you exact results that are happening right now and how they're ranking on Google. We'll go into the nitty gritty so that you can either do this yourself or find vendors to do it for you. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. I'm excited to share it with you today. So let's jump into the search results and actually search dentist near me. This is the keyword that everyone's searching. They just want to find a good dentist near me. And right off the bat, we see some sponsored listings. These are fairly expensive. They can work well, so you can research that if you'd like. But what we're going to be talking about is this Google Business Places listings. So old SEO used to just be about down here, but really you have to scroll pretty far for that. In 2025, you need to focus on the Google My Business area or the Google Business Profiles. This is where you actually see a map of your local area with different businesses around the area. And these three businesses are getting all of the calls, all of the patients, and the people going directly to their office. So this is really where you want to be. Now, if we click into any of these, you can see that it'll actually show a full business profile. And you can sign up to this at Google My Business, where you can set up and add all of your details. Hopefully you have something along these lines. And this is going to be very important for actually ranking on Google. In this video, we're going to go through three core things looking exactly at this business and what they've done with their SEO team. The first is going to be Google Business Profile Optimization. That's where we're going to go through exactly here what you got to add in here to actually make yourself rank in this map pack. Then we're going to look at the website, the on-page SEO, the pages that they've added, the content, everything within the website that directly links together with the Google Business Profile, and show you how they built that out to rank on Google. And then we're going to take a look at backlinks, press releases, and the internet itself, how everything links together with backlinks, other websites, news publishers talking about your brand. That's a very exciting one, so I have some cool stuff to share about that. But first, let's jump into the Google Business Profile Optimization. If we see here, we have some images and we have a lot of reviews. So their reviews, 900, very good. Of course, reviews are always an important ranking factor. But we also see they've added in some good images. All of these images seem to be actually of the location. They probably uploaded it at the location itself. So Google is watching all of these things. So you definitely want to have some good images. We then have the address. Now, an important thing about the address is you do want your business to be the only business with that address. If you do have competing businesses at the same address, that lowers the trust with Google. And so you're definitely not going to want that. Next, you're really just going to fill out all of this information. So what are your hours? What's your phone number, your website, all of this stuff. See, they've even added some question and answers that people have asked, popular times, their reviews. You have to add a good description here. Just do something, relevant, ideally mentioning some of your locations, get some relevance data there. And then down here, we can also see these web results. So this is kind of interesting too, because already we see an influence of backlinks here, because that's pretty much what those are. Now, a couple things you want to be aware of with your Google Business Profile. First is the category, so the primary and secondary categories within the Google Business Profile setup. You definitely need to make sure that those are set correctly to dentist and that they're all relevant. Google does use that as a ranking factor. After that, your services are very important. I don't see these people using a ton of services here. They may be getting away with just the number of reviews on the profile, but you can get really in depth with this. You can add up to 100 services and they can each have a description on there. Remember, SEO is a lot about adding in content, relevant signals to Google, adding in as many keywords in a relevant, natural way. And so using up this space is amazing. I mean, one of the biggest advice I can give you is just to fill out this profile as much as you can and then get reviews. And now we're going to look at the website itself, because once you have this filled out and you have good information on here, you're using descriptive text, you're linking your social medias. All of this is important. Your social medias should link back to your website. All of this stuff should be connected. We then have the website. So if I click into the website here, we can see we have a nice looking website. The visuals of the website don't really matter for this Google My Business Profile ranking, but we do want to see a couple of things. So we're going to share a few things with you. Down here, we can see we have SEO content. So some good relevant content about the area. And I also want to introduce you to some traditional on-page SEO stuff. So with your website, and you can forward this to your developer, whatever you want, you have a couple important things. So you have the SEO title tag. So this is Woodstock Dentist, and then you have the description, which is just a clear descriptive text with the phone number on it that is under 150 characters, I believe. If you can do this, that's going to be very beneficial. Those are what actually shows up in the organic listings, but Google uses them in all kinds of ways. And then making sure that you have an H1 and some H2s. I got to say, this is a little bit of a dirty header structure. There's definitely room for improvement here, but at least they have one H1 and some H2s on there. This is SEO Meta in one click, so you can take a look at your own website with that. But in general, if you can see here, they have a pretty descriptive page. But I want to show you something even more important is, so this content here is really what we care about. And then if I look here, we see Hickory Flat community, and I click on here and it shows even more content specifically about the location. So Google uses what we like to call relevance signals to understand the different areas and what websites and brands are relevant to those areas. And so when we do a project, you really want to look at your rankings across the entire area and then expand that relevance. So you can see how they're using a lot about Woodstock, Georgia. They're using, dentist near, using some keywords. And then they have a guide to Hickory Flat, Georgia, where they have literally like a history. They link to the history there. They have a weather forecast. So they're really adding in a ton of relevance signals here just for this location. And then of course they have a book an appointment. These are what is called location pages, and they're very important for your website. You want essentially two types of pages in local SEO. It's going to be your service pages and then your location pages. And conveniently, they have them down here. So we see dental services, and that's going to be all of your specific services, Invisalign, braces, emergency dental, orthodontic, all this stuff, veneers if you do them, pediatric, all of this stuff is important. And they're each going to have their own page where they talk about the content, about pediatrics, everything like that. And then normally you have a book appointment because you make sure to capitalize on that. You can see down here, they also have service pages. This just lets Google knows the different services and the relevance for it. Because also if we look up pediatric dentist near me, you also have stuff showing up here. And so by creating these pages, you're going to create more relevance for even your Google business profile in that maps listing to rank for those services. And so there's all kinds of keywords that you're going to be ranking for. So you want to make sure that you have all of these here for if someone searches veneers near me, teeth whitening, whatever it might be. And then you have location pages. So you can see they have all of these different locations here of different places. So different places in Georgia, Johns Creek. And they're essentially the same type of page. So they're just a landing page, but they've updated all the content to reflect the new location. And then they have their SEO content down here, which has Johns Creek, all the different stuff about the location. And they're really pushing in those relevant signals there. And so that's hugely important in terms of getting Google to see you as relevant for this location. Okay, now we're going to jump into off-page SEO or link building. This is where you take into account the entire internet, social media, and different websites and how they're talking about your company and your brand. This is a huge ranking factor, and it definitely matters if you want to be in this 3-pack on Google. So we're just going to take a look again at the same website, and we can actually look into and spy on their backlinks. Here with Ahrefs, we can see everybody that mentions them on the internet. And this is going to go into about 2 different main categories, which is citations, press releases. These 2 pieces of backlink building are very important for local SEO. First, we can look at citations because they're the easiest and maybe most important at times. So when we look at their backlink profile, we can see that there's a BBB, Better Business Bureau listing here. This links to their website. So when I say a citation, it's actually just these sort of general websites that list out businesses in your local area. Think of Yellow Pages. So if we go back here, we can actually see they have a Yellow Pages link here too. These types of websites are citations or directories, and they're great for just building up trust with Google, showing that, hey, you're listed on Yellow Pages, you're listed on BBB, you're listed on these different websites that do convey some trust to Google. So first off, you want to get listed. Really, there's about 50 citation websites that we care about that we see actually move the needle for Google rankings. And so if we look through these examples here, we can see some. So Yellow Pages, Crunchbase, some interesting websites. We even have Groupon here. These are backlinks, right? So if we go to any of these, they link over to the actual website of this brand. So you can see visit website, you click on it, and then it goes to the website. These backlinks are very important for building up trust with Google. And so we can actually look through here and see a couple examples. So first, we have citations. So you can just build those, right? If you contact Yellow Pages or you contact any of these websites, you can get on a lot of them, mainly just by going through, very basic sort of like sign up, register kind of things. It's not too difficult. If you're doing that yourself, you don't want to make sure that you're using the exact same address, name, and information on all of them. You want to ideally have a lot of information there about your brand and then relevance signals. So mention all the locations that you cater to. These are a little bit thin, so I'll give them a B- here on their citations, but they do have some decent work done. But you can get very nerdy with making sure that those are done very well. Now, I don't see them using press releases here. This is just a random example in my local area. But press releases, especially when you're in high competition industries, they are very useful. We have a press release strategy that has been giving us killer results on Google Maps. Now, what is a press release? You probably know. It's essentially a list of about 200 websites, news sites that are publishing really just event kind of like news information about your company. Hey, you opened up a new location in Woodstock, or you opened up a new location here, or you have this new doctor. There are so many pieces of information that you can do for a press release. But what we find works extraordinarily well is to use when you find an area that you want to rank better in. So you'll do a grid ranking of your entire area. You see, okay, so in Woodstock, we're not really ranking that well, right? Maybe right next to our location, we're number 1 when you search dentist near us. But when you're a little bit farther out, really not even on that top 3 at all. And we want to rank better there. So you can do a press release on that area, just saying something like, hey, we service this area, whatever it might be, and then you can push relevance signals to Google for that specific area. We do these monthly so that we can expand out the grid rankings for all of your locations in all of the different areas that you want to hit, even if you don't have a location. We embed the Google My Business profile, and we do a couple other really neat things that really get Google to push relevance to that area. So for backlink building, those are the key aspects. You need to get your citations done, and then if you can do press releases right, they work like magic. There's a few other tricks up our sleeves I would love to talk to you about if you are a dentist looking to grow your practice. If so, book a call with me. It's in the description, and I'm an open book. We'll go through all the tricks and look at your specific city and see how you can rank there. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. You have a great one. Bye.